Hi guys, welcome to our channel. My name is Selena and today I'm going to be walking you through how to make one of our DIY home kits. What comes in your home kit are brushes, 3 options of paint, stain, primer, hanging hardware, sandpaper, your project, and a pre-taped stencil. What you need at home is a blow dryer to help dry your project. You could also use a fan, a screwdriver, an old credit card or gift card, and some damp paper towels or cloths. Okay, so let's get started. The first step is to sand your project. You want to sand in the direction of the grain. The lines usually go side to side depending on the direction of your project. They could go vertical. For this one, I'm going to sand side to side. I don't know if you could see the lines here, but this is how you would do it. You're going to take your sandpaper, wrap it around the block that you receive, and always go with the grain. That's the most important thing. So you're going to take this and sand in the direction of the grain. I'm doing this top edge here, and I'm also going to do the sides because those are going to show for the sign. Alright, so this, I'm going to go up and down. The sides don't really matter as much, so you can just go up and down like this. So we're going to sand until your project is about a soft, velvety finish. You can kind of see when you first get it, it's a little bit glossy, but right now it's pretty velvety and smooth. That's when you're going to stop. So I'm going to continue sanding, but I'm going to speed the video up so you don't have to see that part. Okay, so I just finished sanding. I'm going to clean up a little bit, and then when I'm all done cleaning up the dust, which you want to make sure is very clean, you're going to wipe down your project with a wet rag or cloth. Okay, so now I'm going to wipe down my project. I just vacuumed the area so that it's nice and clean, and now I'm just going to wipe off the excess dust from sanding. Okay, so the next step is to stain your wood. You want to take the stain, which is marked with an S. Do not mix this up with a paint unless you're painting your background. The stain is only used for the background color. It cannot be used for the letters. So I'll show you what I mean. And there are 2 different size brushes. There's a small and a large. I like to use the large for staining because it just comes out better. So you want to apply your stain very thin. You don't want to glob it on because when you glob on stain, it will stain in that shape. So you want to spread it out thin and make sure if you have any drips, you smooth them out right away before it dries. You're going to do this whole top layer, and you're also going to do all sides because those show as well. You see how I work from one area to the other? I don't just try to go across the whole board because that'll just leave streaks and you don't want that. The sides are actually cut a little bit rougher than the top, so if you have trouble getting it in all the crevices, just dab it out like this and then smooth off the excess. You do not need to stain the back if yours is a sign that's going to get hung on the wall. That's totally your preference though. Just check to see if you have enough stain. Most of the time people don't stain. Okay, so this dried pretty quickly. So I'm going to turn this off. You want to make sure your project is totally dry. So I usually use my fingers to check. If you feel any bit of like moisture or dampness, just dry it for a little bit longer because if it's not totally dry, your stencil is not going to stick well. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside for now. And the next step is to take your stencil, flip it around, and you're going to take the same block of wood you used for sanding, and you're going to scrape the back. You're not going to be too rough, but you're going to scrape it for about a minute. This is so that everything sticks to the tape that goes on the front. Okay, so now we're actually going to peel this off and stick it on our project. So this part, you want to start with a corner, and you're going to peel it back very slowly. You don't want anything blue to come up. So you want this white to come off clean. So as long as you hold down a corner and roll it back, you should be good. You see how that's lifting there? You want to use your finger and kind of fold the paper so that it goes back down. Okay, so you're going to slowly peel this back. Try to keep it flat. If you notice right here, you see how the blue is sticking up on the white. You don't want that to happen. You want it to stay down. So I usually actually fold it without touching it and push it back down with the edge of the paper. So as long as you keep this flat and you put a little pressure, you should have it come off pretty clean and no glue come off. All right, okay, so now that this backing is off, we're ready to stick it on our project. You want to make sure your project is dust free, but you also want to hold the corners of this so that it doesn't accidentally fold on itself. So we're going to take this and do our best to center it before sticking it down. So what I do is I like to hover it over it like this. And then once I think I'm happy with the placement, I don't stick it down yet, I just let go of it. And from the center, I'm going to push the bubbles out. So this is where the credit card will come in handy. You just want to push the bubbles away from the letters. So your goal is to have no bubbles, because if you don't have bubbles, there won't be an opening where the paint could come out. So I like to do this for about a minute or so. And then once I think that's good, in the same process that we took off the backing, we're going to roll back this white tape. So you just roll it back slowly like this. Those are garbage. Make sure your white tape comes up clean also. You don't want anything to be stuck on that. Once all the tape is removed, it's going to look like this. And you're going to squeegee it down with your credit card one more time, just to make sure there are no air bubbles. That looks pretty good. You want to look at a certain angle to see if there are any openings, but mine looks pretty good. So now we're going to go ahead and start priming. Your primer is labeled as primer. It looks like white paint, but it's not. You do not mix it up with white paint. And you just take one of your foam brushes, and you're actually going to dab on the primer. This is not like paint where you swipe. You always want to dab up and down and blend it out. You don't want to leave a heavy glob on there, because that'll just dry lumpy, and then your paint won't go on smooth. So you're going to dab this primer all over all the openings where the blue shows the background color. Okay, so now that I've gone over all the openings, you could see the primer is on every opening where there is an opening in the blue tape. The stencil, sorry. That is ready to dry. So you're gonna take the blow dryer, dry that for like a minute, and then you're ready for paint. Now that the primer is dry, you can see it's just dried clear. I did notice one thing, because I don't usually use a blow dryer. If you're going to use a blow dryer, use it on the cool setting, because it will start to bubble the stencil. So definitely hold the cool button if you're going to do that. All right. You have one brush per color of paint, and you're going to dab on the same exact way as the primer. So you want to make sure whenever you dip your brush in here to just wipe the excess off. You don't want to go on super heavy, because the first coat is the coat that's going to bleed. So you just want to go up and down, dab it on there. This is the actual color paint, and then this is the first coat. The first coat kind of looks pretty see-through. That's what you should expect in the first coat, and then you want to let it dry and then do a second coat. So what I like to tell people is to work off the table, because usually when you dip your brush in, it's a lot of it on there and you don't need all of that. So I'll dab it off on here and then I'll go on my project. That way you get a nice thin, even coat. Okay, so that's it for the first coat of pink. Dab it off on the table. I'm actually gonna mix in some green in here. Feel free to get creative on this part. I'm gonna take my white paint now and fill the top script letters. Okay, so this is what it's gonna look like after the first coat. It's kind of see-through, which is expected because you didn't glob on the paint. That's what it's supposed to look like. So you're gonna see a little bit of the gray through the background. You're gonna let this dry under the cool setting on the blow dryer, and then we're gonna do a second. Okay, so I just finished blow drying. The first coat is dry. Now I'm gonna get started on my second coat. Second coat, you're gonna apply just as thin, but in this coat, you wanna make sure that you fill in all the edges of your stencil. So basically you wanna get every side of the stencil because you wanna make sure you cover the whole letter. Now you can see it's starting to become more pink. I actually had some glitter lying around, so if you have anything like that at home, now is the time to add it in your second coat. So before that dries is when you want to add glitter so that it actually sticks to it. So I just finished the pink ice cream part and I want to put some glitter in that, so I'm going to do that now. Always make sure to put your primer away after you use the primer because you could mix it up with white paint. Okay, that's it. Now I'm gonna put this under the blow dryer again, and then I'm done. I'm gonna peel it off. Okay, so I just got this back from the blow dryer. It's totally dry. Now it's important that your stencil and the paint inside is completely dry before you peel it. If you peel it too early, it could peel off the paint that you just put on. So you can tell it's completely dry if you touch it and nothing comes off. Alright, so the final step is to peel off your stencil. So you take the blue corner and you just rip. This is the most exciting part. Or nerve-wracking. So you don't have to be super delicate with this part. You're gonna throw off the excess. So if you notice, some of the parts stuck on here. So we gave you little thumbtacks to pick up the excess pieces. You just have to get under it a little bit and use it to help you peel. So the insides of the P's and the R and the O's have to get picked out. So you want to just put a little tiny hole, but not too deep, where it'll just lift it up. Just be careful not to stab the stain underneath. Okay, so I just finished picking off the last few pieces. So this looks awesome. I really love the way it came out. It's really cute, and If you do have glitter at home, I would suggest you use it for a kid's project because it comes out so cute. If you have any questions or you need some help along the way, feel free to give us a call or email us. We'll be happy to help. I did use the glitter and I wanted to show you guys what I used. I like to use extra fine glitter because it just looks really nice. So if you have a kid's project and you have glitter at home, this is definitely a good look for it. So let me show you how the glitter looks. It looks really good. All right, so the last step is to put the hanging hardware on the back. So you should have received one of these with your packages. It comes with the hanging hardware and screws. So now you're gonna take the screwdriver from home and you're gonna put these on the back. So I like to use the same block that I've been using the whole time, just to make sure they're even. I'm gonna line this up with the edge like that, and then I'm gonna put it like this. I like to thread the screw in the screwdriver, put a little pressure, and twist. And make sure your clasp is facing upwards. I'm going to do this side. Voila, it's done. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or email us. I have it linked below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more cool DIY videos. I hope you guys enjoyed getting crafty with us. Bye.